Supa, and I'm from Cornell Cooperative Extension of Broome County, and I'm here today with Rachel Parsons, and we're both nutrition educators, and we are talking today about reducing our food waste. We want to feed our bodies, not the landfills. So we are going to look at a few statistics. It's hard to believe that there are 49 million people in America going hungry, but we throw away 36 million tons of food a year. So before you go out grocery shopping, you ought to take an inventory of your refrigerator, your freezer, your pantry, and see what you already have on hand and what meals you can plan. So I'm going into my refrigerator and I pull out the science fair project. It happens to be this nice container of yogurt. I know that this cost me $5 at the store, but it's starting to get a little green mold, so I'm gonna have to throw that away. Next, I look at my fruit basket, couple bananas, getting brown and smushy. Whoops, I can't feed those to my kids. So there is $7 I'm throwing away just because I didn't plan accordingly. I could have froze the leftover yogurt before it went bad, or bought smaller containers for my family. The bananas, have the bananas where the kids can eat the fresh produce first, save the canned stuff for later in the week when you don't have the fresh fruit available. Next, I'm going to talk about our products. Lots of times we're very confused about the labeling, and don't feel bad, everyone gets confused. But on the box of cereal here, it says, best used by January 27th of 2021. Hopefully I'm around on that day, and I come back and I said, oh, it's January 30th of 2021. I can eat this cereal. It's not going to give me food poisoning or anything like that. It's just not going to be as fresh as we're used to, but it's okay to eat. Perishable things like milk, though, is a different story. Milk has a sell-by date of April 26th. We want the grocer to take it off if it's old, but if you come into the store and it's April 25th, you can buy it, put it in your refrigerator when you get home from the store, and then you can drink it 5 to 7 days. If you don't think you're going to drink it, you can freeze milk. A lot of people don't realize that you can freeze milk and save it for later. Next, we're going to move on to the blueberries. They were a great buy this week, but we bought a couple extra containers thinking the kids would really like them, but they got tired of them. So let's throw these in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer and save them for smoothies later. Next, we came up to a mango. It was another good buy, but we didn't eat all of it. You can peel it and freeze it, or you can dry it and make some fruit leather for the kids. Next is bread. Nobody wants to eat a stale piece of bread on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So instead of throwing this away, why not make French toast for the kids in the morning for breakfast, or you can let them dry out and make some croutons for your family, and they are a much healthier option because they don't have all the preservatives and salt that the ones from the store come on.
Anne's right. Planning our meals is the most important step, and always check and see what you have on hand. So I looked in my fridge today and I had small bits of a bunch of different vegetables left over from the week, and this kind of looked like a stir fry to me. So I took my broccoli. I'm going to take those top parts, the florets that everyone really likes. I'm going to cut those off and set those aside for the stir fry I'm going to make. This stalk, you can eat this too. This makes really great stir fry as well. I'm just going to pull off the larger leaves, and I'm going to cut these into some smaller strips. And these are going to go great for stir fry. The ends are kind of fibrous. That's where they cut it off of the stalk of that broccoli plant. There's still some good stuff in there. So instead of throwing this away, as long as it's clean, free of debris, and free of rot, we can set that aside to make some vegetable stock later. Carrots. The family doesn't really like those fibrous ends, so when I go to cut those up for my stir fry, I did take those ends off. Those ends, again, as long as they're free of debris and free of rot, I can set those aside in my vegetable stock. And the carrots, I'm going to cut those up and add those to the stir fry. Our onion, this outside layer, this papery part, is really pretty useless to us nutritionally. This would really just be good for the compost pile. Check out Josh's videos. He has lots of great information about composting. The next layer down is pretty dry and again, pretty fibrous, and my family doesn't really enjoy eating that much, but it's still useful. I'm gonna set that in my vegetable stock pot as well. And then I can use the rest of my onion in my stir fry. My family doesn't like those fibrous ends, that white part that connects to the roots, and that top part. Still good stuff. We'll add that to our vegetable stock pot. We don't want to waste anything. Those leaves at the top of our celery stalk have a lot of flavor in those, and they'd be really great for soup. So I'm going to cut those and put those into my pile for the vegetable stock. The inside of that celery, of course, we could take that and we can root this. So if we put this in some dirt, this will actually grow and then we can eat that too. Again, it's all about getting more out of our food and keep from throwing stuff away. Our master gardener, Linda, has some great videos as well, so be sure to check those out. She'll have lots of great growing tips for you. Now that I have all those vegetables set aside for my stock, I like to put those in a plastic bag and keep that in my freezer. That way I can add to this bag throughout the month. Any food scraps that I have can go in there, and once it's full, I can use that to make a vegetable soup by boiling that in some water. Maybe we can talk about that in another video. What are your favorite tips for making the most of your food and keep from throwing money away? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll use those tips on our Facebook page or in our nutrition newsletter. And you can find out more about all of the great things that Cornell Cooperative Extension of Broome County does at ccbroomcounty.com.